Fun funeral facts. Embalming, the process of chemically preserving a corpse, is typically not required by law, unless you need to transport the body a long distance, or postpone the burial. It's 100% a vanity thing. A body still rots in airtight conditions, so protective or sealed caskets are basically a scam, and anything fancy like metal is a waste of money. Want a beautiful casket for a viewing, but think burning or burying an expensive piece of hardwood is a waste of money and trees. Rentals exist. You don't need a coffin for cremation. The minimum requirement is that the body be in a cremation container, which is a simple cardboard box. Home funerals are an option. You don't need to hand the body over to a funeral home, and you can keep their involvement to a minimum. Natural burial sites exist. You can have your unembalmed body straight up thrown in the dirt to be tree food, if you want. There are a lot of funeral homes that will prey on your ignorance and vulnerability in order to get as much money out of you as possible. They may imply optional certain services are legally mandatory, steer you away from cheaper options, charge additional costs for what's supposed to be all-inclusive services, etc. One person's death is another person's profit. Know your rights, do your research, and apply the same scrutiny you would to any other business. For those of you interested, the YouTube channel Ask a Mortician does a lot of videos on taboo death subjects, answers questions, and is a huge advocate for natural burials and being present during the actual funeral process, so you don't get taken advantage of by the funeral industry. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I highly recommend her videos. My dad gets on the computer for 5 minutes, and he already manages to unlock Internet Explorer's unholy twin and pull it out of the depths of hell. Massive L to our ancestors for not domesticating the bear for the ultimate friend. We can start now. If you had a child by choice, you signed up for an autistic child, signed up for a trans child, signed up for a LGBTQ+ child, signed up for a mentally ill child, signed up for a disabled child, signed up for a child with conditions, signed up for a rebellious child, signed up for a kid. In any way, shape, or form of being, it's your child, and you signed up for it. And you are not the victim in any of these fucking situations, for God's sake. Whoop, there it is. Isn't a contract. For your consideration. Emo. The world is broken, and I'm sad, because there's nothing I can do to fix it. Goth. The world is broken, but there's an odd beauty in the dark parts. Punk. The world is broken, and I'm angry, and I'm going to fight to fix it. My only 3 personalities. Scene. The world is broken, but I don't care, and I'm going to have fun while I'm still alive. That's just nihilism with skinny jeans. I would like to read to you what the Jesus said about homosexuality. I'd like to, but he never said anything about it. This is an enormous chain, and I'm sorry, but I need to say this. The laws in the Old Testament were set forth by God as the rules the Hebrews needed to follow in order to be righteous, to atone for the sin of Adam, and even to be able to get into heaven. That is also why they were required to make sacrifices, because it was part of the appeasement for original sin. According to Christian theology, when Jesus came from heaven, it was for the express purpose of sacrificing himself on the cross, so that our sins may be forgiven. His sacrifice was supposed to be the ultimate act that would free us from the former laws and regulations, and allow us to enter heaven by acting in his image. That is why he said it is finished when he died on the cross. That is why Christians don't have to circumcise their sons, God's covenant with Jacob. That is why they don't have to perform animal sacrifice, or grow out their flocks, or follow any of the other laws of Leviticus. When you quote Leviticus as God's law, and say they are rules we must follow, because they are what God or Jesus wants us to do, what you are really saying, as a Christian, is that Christ's sacrifice on the cross was invalid. He died in vain, because you believe we are still beholden to the old laws. That is what you, a self-professed good Christian, are saying to your God and his son, that their plan for your salvation wasn't good enough for you. So maybe actually read the thing before you start quoting it, because the implications of your actions go a lot deeper than you think. This is a theological point that doesn't come up often enough. In every way but my physical form, this is me. This is now my physical form. My first attempt at a creepypasta. Beginner here. Go easy on me. Carpeted kitchen. What the F? Not to sound like a back in my day kind of crotchety old man, but Vine was way better and host to a lot more creativity than TikTok. As a bonus, it only sold our data to Twitter and advertisers and not to the Chinese government. I saw a post a while ago that was something like TikTok is to Vine what in a fantasy series a main character dies and comes back from the dead, but a little unhinged and without morals, and probably an evil agenda. I'm thinking more like a soap opera, when a beloved character thought dead comes back played by a clearly different and much worse actor. Who sells your data to China? You drop a small piece of food on the floor and decide to kick it under the oven or couch or whatever because you can't be bothered to pick it up. As you're walking away, you hear a very quiet thank you from under it. No problem, I say, the words passing out of my mouth on autopilot before my brain engages and I freeze. I turn and look at the fridge. It seems to be the same fridge that was here when I moved in. I mean, I'm also kind of embarrassed. I never do that. I know that's how you get roaches, but my back hurts so bad that getting up and down is next to impossible, much less bending over. You holding up okay down there? I ask. There was silence. I know that we are probably the only apartment in the building that doesn't have a bug problem. That's you, right? Again, silence. But I know I heard it. Listen, I can't really bend over right now, but if you're down there and hungry, like, there's half a rotisserie chicken in there that's about to go bad. I was going to throw it away, but if you could use it. Yes, please. Well, whatever it is, it's well mannered. Anyway, I set my sandwich down and go back and open the package to the questionable chicken. Honestly, it might be a little off. Can you still eat it? I eat. Okay. Bones too? Yes. I break the bird into pieces and drop it, kicking each piece under the fridge. The compressor kicked on, so I only had hints of whatever noises might be coming up from there. You good? Thirsty? Ikes? Please? Oh, sure, no problem. I just hit the ice maker button until there's a handful of cubes on the floor and use the broom to knock them under. Better? Yes. Thank you. Sure. Listen, I need to eat and take a nap. You're just stuck under here, I guess, or you'd have gone through the garbage, right? Stuck? Yes. Okay. Just under the fridge. Or can you move under other things? Sometimes move. In same place. In the same apartment. Or you gotta move to other fridges. Same home. Ah. Okay. Well, I'll try to remember to kick stuff under the fridge for you. Hurt. My back. I just need to sleep. I'll be okay. Make better. That's the plan, friend. I sure hope that when I go to sleep and wake back up, there won't be a weird pile of chicken smooshed under the fridge. Or maybe I hope that there is. When I wake up, it's like my back had never hurt at all. And when I kick an ice cube under the fridge, I hear a soft noise and sigh and thank you asterisk. So, not just some weird pain-induced hallucination. It goes on like that for weeks. The thing under the fridge especially likes moldy cheese and stale tortillas, but they'll eat just about anything. Their English gets better the more I talk to them, though they still struggle with sibilance. I assume because of the way the mouth is formed. They're friendly and polite, and haven't been menacing at all, and the one time I ducked down with a flashlight and looked under the fridge I heard chuckling from under the couch. Cannot see, always move, they said. Fair enough, but I had to try. Understand. They sounded very amused. Sometimes they hang with me in the living room, under the couch, and watch TV with me. They really like Umbrella Academy, as it turns out. How long have you lived here? Where? This place. You came with the apartment, right? No, the fridge. I came with you. Always you. It took me a moment. A long moment. Yuri the monster, who lives under my bed. Yes. Always with you. Where you live, I live. They sounded pleased. Huh. Cool. You need anything? Ice? You got it, pal. It's kind of nice. I always have company, but I have privacy if I ask for it. They like to hear about the world, and sometimes we listen to audiobooks, or I read out loud. I made sure every room has some place for them, so they can follow me, or not, as they like. And, well, there was this. I don't like talking about it, but I was half asleep, and someone came in through my bedroom window. Honestly, I don't think he thought anyone would be home. I'd gotten in from out of town very late, and had been dropped off, too tired to drive, so my car wasn't out front. But he advanced on my bed, lifting his fist, and by the time I was working myself up into panic, well, I suppose the front of his foot must have gone under their bed. Like I said, they'll eat just about anything.